Oh, ah, okay. It would be great if you two would connect. Okay. I should just find a way to get myself to a copy of the stream. Oh shit! Do I not have headphones? Oh, whatever. Uh, awesome. Cool. That's connected. That's connected. Okay. Okay. Everything's connected. Is Twitch working? Yeah, Twitch is connected. That's posted. That's posted. Um, Stop trying to make me get verified Twitter. Okay. Couple last things, and I would have done my job. Hey guys, what's up? Uh, I'm just doing the final stream thing, so I hope you guys are good. It's a beautiful weekend, isn't it? It's a beautiful weekend. Definitely nothing wrong with today. What have you guys done this weekend? What's everyone been up to? Let me check in. Let me be nice. Let me be an engagement tuber. Okay, that's done. And final one. Hey Eric, what's up? Oh, there's a job at Vault, dude. Vault's good. I mean, Vault are nice people. I know like one person from there. I think they're very nice people. Um, that's all I have to say about them. Vault's interesting because I have this story that is I can't tell anyone. Unfortunately, that is the dumbest story ever, and it's not flattering to anybody involved in it, including myself. Um, but yeah, also that's the new 28 Days Later movie, right? God, I want to watch the Boned Temple. I want to get Bone Templed. Why did I have to say it like that? I could just be normal. Like once in a while, I should just try and be a little bit normal. Oh yeah, a new Blue Sky feature where you can say you're live now. I think that's cool. I think that's a really cool feature. Okay, I literally was supposed to start the stream like an hour ago. No, this story isn't covering up any bad about Vault. If it was bad, I would tell you. I would have just said it. I have nothing to lose at this point. But it was just silly. It was one of those silly things, one of those deeply silly things that you experience in life that you just have to like realize that everybody involved is dumb. Not even from Vault. Everybody involved. Vault wasn't involved in this, by the way. It was other people were involved. Vault just happened to be the topic and happened to be involved tangentially, but was not involved in the actual thing where the stupid thing happened. Um, so don't feel bad. Don't worry. Nothing about mistreatment. Nothing bad said about them. Uh, the only bad thing I can say about Volt is that I'm going to blame them for destroying my monitor. They didn't do it. No one. The person who destroyed my monitor was Time. My fucking Time killed me, and now my monitor don't work good. You know, but that's it. These are my complaints. I hope they will be heard by the public. Can you tell that I am? Oh Jesus! I don't need that gate. What I need is a limiter. I need my limiter back. Yay! My limiter is back. I will never go louder than this anymore. Which link is broken in Discord? Have I just been posting a broken Twitch link? Twitch.tv. Which of them is broken? The YouTube link works, I think. Is the Twitch link broken? The YouTube one's broken? I've put that everywhere. What do you mean it's broken? Oh, I know why it's broken. Okay, thank God. I haven't put that everywhere. I have, in fact, not. I have, in fact, not put that everywhere. Thank God. I just fucked up the. I literally am missing one thing in it. Fixed it. Link fixed. This is going to be interesting. I need to organize to do my interview with the CEO of Global Comics. I'll do that in the next couple weeks. Anyway, yeah, this is going to be an exciting one. There's a lot to discuss. Thanks a lot to the members of the Discord, especially Konichi Bot, for like really helping me not have to do as much research as I needed to do for this Hiveworks thing. Although there was so much to discuss about Hiveworks in the grand scheme of things that I just haven't had time to get into. There's been a piece of news about Hiveworks I actually cannot tell anyone. I cannot tell anyone this news, and it's burning a hole in my fucking pocket. It's related to all of this, but and everyone who works at Hiveworks knows about it. I'm the only one outside of Hiveworks who knows about it, as far as I'm aware. Me and like everyone who works there's friend, I guess. And like I can't tell anyone because it's like legally dubious, and it will fuck me up if it's even vaguely wrong. Everything I have tells me it's correct, and like I can't even legally talk about it because I understand like if you there's so much, but I just want you to know it's bad. Like I can't even tell you, but it's bad. Like everything else that's happening, right, is like a 10, right? This is like on the scale of legal problems, it's like an 11, but on the scale of like everything that happened, it's like a 7.5, frankly. I will say, I'm going to say something today that you might not agree with about Hiveworks, and honestly, valid. It's one very small thing, but I will definitely not agree with everyone on something that I know they want me to agree with them on. So, dude, Ski Coke, the playoffs are, yeah, I forgot the playoffs are right now, shit. The playoffs are right now. Hold on, wait, who's playing? Let me check. This is how you know I've been working too much. I don't know who's playing in the NFL playoffs. Today is the Patriots versus the Texans? Dude, don't watch it. We already know how this game ends. We already know how this game ends. What do you mean, Nen or the NFL playoffs? Nobody who's playing is serious. I guess like in an hour, the Bears and the Rams play. But like, whatever. Anyway, sorry for everyone in my chat who's a normal person who does not want to be involved in the world of football. I apologize for letting you know this information, for even putting football in your ears, right? The problem is, it's my fault. I should have never talked about football. If you can dodge a ball, you can dodge a wrench. You can fucking, all I know is go Birds. You only know go Birds because you saw that, God, what's that funny black guy? The one who did a skit literally yesterday that was like, hey everyone, my name is ASAP Rocky and I'm married to Rihanna. I'm going to go now make my amazing album. Like that's the only reason you know go Birds. Philly is your team? Oh, shut up. Go Birds my ass. Don't go Birds, everybody. No, I'm talking about American football. American football. There would be a condensed version. I'm trying something out with my editor this week. Bless their soul. I will try and see if I can get a condensed version of this video done this week on the channel that can be watched without having to watch the whole fucking stream. I think that's the right thing to do. Yeah. I think there's a lot of things I want to unpack about. There's a lot of things I think would be good to discuss about Hiveworks as a whole. There's a lot of things I think would be good to discuss about like the hype around Hiveworks. I don't know how much everyone knows about them. I always wonder if rugby was just violent as football. No, rugby is way more violent than football. If I'm being honest. If I'm being bluntly honest, rugby is way more violent than football will ever be. In large part because you can die in rugby. Like very easily. Like shockingly easily, I found out. It's dumb. In football, there's so much medical staff and so many coaches and so many people that you won't make it no matter what. You just get CTE. But in rugby, like, especially if you play anything lower than like high level uni rugby, you just get hit in the head really hard, and then your coach goes, "Go home, you'll be fine," and then you just like go to sleep with the crazy concussion. Oh yeah, no, NFL players are insane athletes, disturbingly good athletes. Like one of the things that playing American football got me, because if you didn't know this, I played American football for 5 years. I was an interior defensive lineman. My number was 60. No, my number was 91. Then it became 67 when I started playing O-line as well. I played O-line and D-line, if anyone's wondering. In my entire one last thing I will say. My entire 5-year career, I had 6 QB sacks. I'm actually being so fucking serious. I had 6 QB sacks in my entire career. When I played O-line, I was what you call it? I was very close to a tight end. I wanted to play a tight end, but I couldn't run that fast. But I should have played a tight end. I know it's 6'7". I didn't do that on purpose. Like literally, my number was 67. My number was literally 67. It was 91, then 67. Like I never got to have 99. It's just because some numbers are reserved for the O-line and the D-line, so you just end up with that. With that stupid meme being there. Yeah, no, I had like a really good time playing football. And I was supposed to qualify. I qualified for the UK national team, and then I just stopped playing. Like literally, I want you guys to understand how this went. I played football for 4 or 5 years. After like year 3, I was asked to go on the national team. I said no. The next 4th year, I was asked to go on the national team. I said yes, then didn't go to any training because I didn't want to actually play. Then in the 5th year, I was asked to go to the national team, and I said yes, and then they bought me a ticket to Finland, and then I just didn't go. Truly, I am the streamer of all time. And you won't believe what I was doing on that day. Unironically, no joke. The day we were supposed to go, I was streaming. I was streaming on Webcomics Hub. Like, that's how bad I was, man. This is back when we were doing like bi-weekly streams every 2 weeks. And I was like on Webcomics Hub instead of going to Finland. It was a great time. I gave it all up for you guys, which is why you need to like, share, and subscribe everything I make for the rest of my life. The comic's called way harder, man. God, I hate Twitter now, but I hate Blue Sky somehow even more. I played varsity rugby in high school, got scouted by a local club, and then destroyed my knee during a game like a week later. You see, Skull, this is what I'm talking about. This is our lives, man. Like, and it doesn't help because, and I could feel it through the computer, we're both getting older. We're both getting older way too fast. So now when I have like one arm injury from, no joke, 10 years ago, still the same. Still the exact same problem. I'm gonna fucking lose it. I'm 30. It's over for me, man. I'm 30. If 41 is where you're at and it's still getting you, I'm 30. It's actually over for me. I'm cooked. It gets worse, apparently. It only gets worse. It only gets worse, kids. Don't age. Don't age. It's Jover for Unk. That is the sum total conclusion I've come to tell you, everybody. Stop aging. I'm 28, count. I'm 30. Bro, you are not that old. I hate to say this to you. I am. People wish for me to be young again. Society wishes for my youth. Skill issue, just stop aging. I've tried. The hell? Okay, sorry, I had to text somebody. Anyway, I can't stop aging. I've tried. I took the drug. It's crazy. I'm 12 and at what? So you fucking count up from like 25? How are you? I'm turning 30 this year and I'm terrified. Honestly, it only gets worse, apparently. We're gonna have like one intermission in the stream, just pre-warning you, because I need to go get water, and that's when you will all be allowed to go get water. Nobody's allowed to go get water until the intermission. And if you go before the intermission, I will know. Don't even. Okay? Don't even think about it. Like, actually. Damn, Zam, but I'm thirsty right now. Die, frankly. Welcome to the years where you injure yourself. Like, dude, no, I had that. No, I had that. I got the thing where I fell asleep wrong, and like my neck was fucked for like a month. I can't. No, man. This can't be the way my life goes. This can't be the way it goes. It has to get better. I want to. You know what I'm jealous of? Those videos you see where it'll be like, this man is 50 years old, and he'll be like running like a fucking like he'll be running the mile in like 2 minutes. There's those 50-year-old men that like run and like are jacked as shit. That's who I want to be. Will I be that? I don't actually know. I'm really concerned. I would love to be that. I would love that to be my life. I saw a grandpa doing flips on the monkey bars at the park. Grunk is doing too much. I can't. Hello, Ferns. What's good? What's good? It's the first stream of the year, the first serious stream of the year. Let's get to the content. I think we've had enough time sitting around shooting the shit. Let's get to the content. What day is it? Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Webcomics Hubcast. It's your boy, Nen, also known as Skinny Penis. God, I need to stop making terrible jokes from college. Anyway, it's your boy, Nen. How are you doing? How's everyone doing? I never say it's your boy. This is new. Welcome to episode 1, season 5 of Webcomics Hubcast. That is Pearl. Yeah, that is Pearl's username on the chat. Welcome to episode 1 of season 5 of the Webcomics Hubcast. We have way too many things to talk about today, and most of it's going to be about Hiveworks. I thought it'd be great for us to start with one thing that I think everyone knows. It's the Hiveworks drama. Does everyone know what happened? Did everyone read the article from the Cartoonist Co-op? Because I'm going to show that on the screen now if you haven't read it. I say article. It's like a statement. It's the Hiveworks Guild statement on the Cartoonist Co-op website, right? Let me just make sure we can all see it. I refuse to pause. Let me make sure we can all see it. Well, hey, the Hiveworks Guild. Everyone, yeah, I know you're familiar with it, Skull. We know you're familiar with it. No, I mean, look, let's be serious. From the outside looking in, Hiveworks didn't look stable. I had a lot of complaints about Hiveworks. I used to complain about Hiveworks all the time on stream, but Hiveworks looked better than the alternative. It looked a lot more serious, and I think for a lot of younger artists and a lot of creators who worked mostly with Webtoon and with Cacao and all that stuff, Hiveworks seemed like a more stable bastion in a sea of noise. What's a Hivework, Mr. Who asks? A Hivework is a website, a comic website, in fact. I'll show you them. I think the website's still up. It should be. I don't know why I'm acting like it's gone down. Anyway, this is a Hivework. Hiveworks is a comic collective. A comic collective run on the concept of putting creators of a certain quality together to make comics, which will attract readers to the platform to read everyone's individual comics, while those individual comics cross-promote with each other for the purposes of sharing and moving their audiences around, thereby allowing everyone to access large amounts of an audience from a semi-centralized environment, while everyone also then got to host their own websites. So if I click on any of these comics, it won't take me to like a different page like it would do on Webtoon. It takes me directly to demonsmirror.com, entirely different website. So this is this kind of, they were trying to do this amalgamation of independence, and centralization, right? Independence and centralization is something that I've always wanted to do, and I looked into it extensively, and I even did some of the code for it. So I understand like there is a lot of value to this, and there's a lot of desire for this in the artist community. And you might be like, what are the desires for that? The main one being, let's say these dickheads go out of business, which they currently are, right? If they go out of business, you still have demonsmirror.com. This is still your website. This is still your location, and no one can take that away from you, right? And if they go down, you still have all your content. You still have all your comments. You still have everything that had to do with you, right? Without and your audience still has a way to get to you without that centralized location. Now, it has a lot of other downsides. One of the main ones being that like being a website-focused platform is a great way to alienate yourself from the younger members of the audience that will grow with your webcomic, right? The kind of younger audience members that grow and become your strongest, longest supporters. It's very, very common for websites to not be able to gain those people, because most young people now don't use the internet in the same way that we used to when we were kids. Most young people use the internet on their phones through apps. Like, look, I say this as I teach high school. For people who are disagreeing with me in their minds, I teach high school. They don't use the internet like that. Some of them don't know how to browse. Like, just think of a random website, look for shit. They don't. I teach them, I look at them do it in front of me. They don't. Even when they want to show me videos, like, I think about the fact that every time I find a video, it's from like 9 different places. Most of my kids have videos from one place, usually one app. They will, like, it's either Instagram Reels or TikTok. And if you watch YouTube Shorts, you're old. Like if you watch anything else, you're old. I once accidentally said the word Daily Motion in class, and like my kids don't know what that is. Do you understand what I'm saying? That internet is disconnected from who they are. But you can already understand the benefits Hiveworks had when it came out, which I completely forgot the year, if I'm being very honest with you. And you can understand the value of this centralized but not centralized environment, right? Ain't that crazy? I almost started pushing my future webcomic on Hiveworks. Everyone did. Everyone wanted to be here because Hiveworks had this one thing. If you were from the outside looking in, you wanted to be on Hiveworks because Hiveworks had this thing of exclusivity. It felt special. It feels special. Look, this is the location where creators make interesting and creative things, and some, if not most of them, make a lot, well, not a lot, enough money. Enough money for their living needs. It's not Webtoon originals making millions of dollars or whatever. Only one person does that on Webtoon originals. I shouldn't say it like that. Only like 1 or 2 people have ever done that. But I'm saying, it's not Webtoon originals where you make a lot of money and the platform is supporting you and putting money behind you. The idea is that your community is putting their money together to support each other in some way, right? Putting their business decisions to an extent in the hands of a centralized group, right? While they continue to create. And that centralized group basically uses the money generated to move around and benefit everyone in the collective. That's the idea. That's the benefit. These are the things that would be good about a collective. And these are some of the things that Hiveworks tried to do. Hiveworks had this thing called Hive Mill, which I think is basically Dunzo, more or less, as they go chew through the last couple books left in storage. And like they were selling physical book editions of the comics that you were already reading. In the last sale, I bought like 15 comics, man. Like I bought 15 Hive Mill comics, straight up, right? I wanted to be clear that I'm not a fucking moocher, by the way. I'm saying this one for that reason. I'm not a moocher, and this episode isn't me just trying to fucking piss on the people who work there or piss on the story of what happened at Hiveworks. I am a supporter, like a real deal, true blue one, and I've been for a long time. I have problems with it, but I am mostly a supporter, right? Now you know what Hiveworks is. What's the deal with what happened? Well, a bunch of the Hiveworks creators were miserable, as all comic creators are. Let's be honest. We are all sad. We are all sad all the time. I have never met a happy comic creator. That would be a lie. Anyway, a bunch of the creators were unhappy. They felt like they were not having their needs met by Hiveworks, by the group, by the collective. Right? They felt like they weren't being treated appropriately. In fact, one of the bigger stories of last year in webcomics was a creator who was trying to just leave Hiveworks and not even being able to do so in a simple and easy manner, having to argue with people over things like getting their website disconnected from the platform, getting their books, knowing how many books they had in storage, knowing how much money their books had generated over the period of time they were being sold. Like, they had trouble getting information as basic as that. Hiveworks has been having a lot of trouble lately, and lately is an understatement. It's been for a while. One of the ones I think I used to talk about on stream a lot over the last couple of years is like, when you go on the Hiveworks website, a lot of the comics that are here in the promotional section are like completed, not a lot, but some of the comics that are here in the promotional section would end up being like completed or on hiatus, but still getting promotion. Shit like that. Anyway, Hiveworks was having those issues and their creators were unhappy, right? The creators created a guild within Hiveworks called the Hiveworks Guild. The whole point was they could like collectively discuss what happened, right? Collectively discuss their issues, their drama, etc., and then send that to management, and then management could actually solve it without having to get individual sporadic comments from individuals and maybe not keeping track of that. Or maybe, just as a way to kind of counteract the mismanagement. You can't say you weren't told people were unhappy if everyone tells you they're unhappy, right? That was kind of the point of the Hiveworks Guild. And as they were discussing things with Hiveworks, they realized that one, the people that they thought were in charge had stopped being in charge at some point. They just stopped showing up. Basically went hands off or just went offline and were not speaking to people. And two, they were 340 grand in debt. But in fact, that's not even the one that got me. I think the one that got me, I'm just gonna scroll through this article real quick. The thing that got me wasn't that they were 340 grand in debt from years of mismanagement. That, whatever, right? Debt happens. Mismanagement happens, right? The thing that got me the most, in my opinion, was that $15,000, I need to zoom in on this, $15,000 was stolen from the company's PayPal account in 2023. And I just think that's fucking funny. Not in a rude way, not in a I'm happy or miserable. I just think that of all the things that happened, just blatant theft. Just blatant fucking theft occurred. Everything went wrong, but I didn't think we would have such easy, obvious crime. I was gonna title this video, Hiveworks stole 15 grand, but nobody fucking knows who took this money, as far as I can tell. And people found out after Issa, who I think was the COO. Issa is also a webcomic creator. They make the, have you ever seen that Crows comic on Webtoon? The one with the little cute crows? That's Issa. That's the comic that Issa makes, right? And Issa's been a comic creator for a while. I believe they were operating as a COO with Zell operating as the CEO of Hiveworks, right? Zalette. They operate as CEO of Hiveworks, and Issa, she operates as the CEO. I'm just trying to get my head together and everything. Yeah. So after Issa left in 2024, when she quit working there in 24, they just found that 15 grand was stolen from the PayPal account. And I don't fucking understand. A bunch of their Kickstarters haven't been fulfilled, and their staff is owed 17K. What is happening? This is so fucking stupid. This is so fucking stupid. Other things that I know have occurred from individual creators that I've spoken to here and there. I don't know a lot of people from Hiveworks. I want to be very blunt. I know 4 people from Hiveworks, if that. And the things that I've been told from people at Hiveworks is things like not knowing how much of the inventory has actually been sold. So if you don't, so as I said, Hiveworks operates Hivemill, the service that sells their books, and they also I think pays for I think they work with the service that operates Hivemill, and which also does the warehousing and everything. And somehow nobody has been tracking how many of some people's books have been sold. So people don't know if they've actually been paid appropriate royalties, if they've been paid any royalties, right? Just fucking stupid. Another complaint that's in this document is favoritism. Projects getting promised and then shelved because Zell and Issa had such poor intercommunication that Zell would DM you privately and be like, hey, we're going to do this project, and maybe say involving you. And then Issa would DM or make a post, there would be a public post, basically going, by the way, we're doing an entirely different project, and you just be sat there with the DMs telling you yours was coming and never coming. Yeah, I only found out any of my books had been sold in Hivemill when I asked for an inventory so I could request they destroy my books and send proof when I left. Lol. So, you see, I don't have the braveness of you to destroy my books. Comic Fury is a terrible, okay, I want to just be very blunt. Comic Fury is not a good alternative to Webtoon or Hiveworks, but that's a conversation for later in today's thing. Anyway, this post from the Hiveworks Guild is basically an explanation of every problem they have with Hiveworks. Everything from, I only send them $2, the rest of them out. Oh, thank God. Okay, good. I was worried that it was like a lot of books, but it's only $2. Thank God. This is these complaints go from everything from not being listened to by the Hiveworks internal team. So that would be Zell, Issa, and whoever actually worked in management over there. I find the complaints about not being listened to be very not important. Not because I don't think people's emotions and feelings and how they were treated is good, because that leads to deep burnout. I just think that in the face of the issues of the company, it never mattered whether they listened to you or not. They weren't going to listen to you because they were too busy wasting fucking money. Like, the money is the most important thing. And my argument back is just like, if they were doing things that made the company profitable and paid you well, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't care. If they're doing exactly what they promised and meeting their expectations and paid you well, you wouldn't care. And I think most people wouldn't care. And that's not because anybody is a hack or whatever. It's just if people are making the right decisions, you're a lot less likely to have any issues with people not listening to you because they've not been listening to you so far and they've been helping you make money. That's how I see it, at least, right? I don't think they should have been treated that way regardless. But I'm also acknowledging the fact that, like, the bigger issue, in my opinion, is that they were wasting your fucking money. They were wasting your resources and your money, and I think that's a piss take. It's an absolute fucking piss take. You spend, because every creator spends hours, hundreds of hours crafting their comics, hundreds of hours getting their book version of their comic out, hundreds of hours doing solo advertising, and they've joined this collective with the belief that they can rely on the group and they can rely on the management to provide, you know, the minimum ad revenue, the minimum payments, the minimum this, minimum that. And if they're not even meeting those expectations. So it never mattered whether you were getting shut down or not. The moment they stopped meeting the expectations, you were just burning at both ends immediately, right? Like, you were exhausted as shit. Like, you know, the lack of transparency wouldn't have mattered if they did their fucking jobs. That kind of shit, right? And you can see an example of that if you look at Webtoon Originals creators. They have a lot of complaints. They have a lot of fucking complaints. They have a lot of problems with Webtoon. Webtoon doesn't fucking listen to half of the problems they have, but they pay. And they meet their expectations, more or less, for most of them. So no one complains openly. No one wants to make a big deal out of it openly often because it's not worth doing. Unless it's really, really bad. Do you know what I mean? Am I making sense? Do I sound fucking insane right now? I hope not, right? And like, I think all this, at least Webtoon Originals get paid. Yeah, more or less. At least they get the money they were promised. I think one of the things that bothers me about the development of this is that if you, from the outside looking in, the executive dysfunction to some extent was very visible, but nothing would have ever prepared me for, nothing could have ever prepared me for being fucking $300,000 in debt. And the reason why I'm saying that is that this is a company, Zelda was a 30 under 30 Forbes list member, which I know is a bad thing, by the way. I know it's a bad thing because that's Sam Bankman-Fried and every other fucking idiot, right? I know making 30 under 30 just means you're a fucking scam artist, really. Okay, I know this, but it meant something at the time. It was a person in comics who did something on their, more or less on their own, right? Or with a small team, pushing forward a thing that the industry desperately needed at a time when the only alternatives were DC's Zuda. Do you have to pay to get on that list? Wait, hold on. Wait, stop. You have to pay to get on that list? No, you can't have to pay to get on that list. Do you? Hold on. No, wait. I mean, you might have to pay a nominal fee, but I don't think you have to pay to get on any. I guess maybe modern day you might have to. But before it wasn't like that. That's new. That has to be new. It has to be a new thing. Because I say this as this is just because one person I graduated with did end up in the Forbes 30 under 30, and they did not pay. So I'm pretty sure you didn't have to at some point. I don't know if you have to now. You probably do. I guess I'll never be 30 under 30. It's more like 350 out of under 30 now anyway. But no, it's like, I think what fundamentally bothers me is that this was a meaningful company. You know, like, okay, I'm going to have this conversation here because I think it's important to talk about. One of the things that I've been talking about, someone who's been running Webcomics Hub for almost 10 years now, it's 2026. It will be 10 years next year of Webcomics Hub content, things, media, games, the comic contest I run every year, right? It will be 10 years of me doing stuff under this name. And like one of the things that I've been trying to do lately is doing my own collective, making my own platform and focusing on things I think will help people make more money making comics and at least reach an audience better, right? or at least just be a less shit place to be. At least be your favorite second job location. You know what I mean? And a lot of the inspiration for me to do that comes from Hiveworks. Like personally, I'm very personally affected by Hiveworks. Very personally, right? One of my first webcomics I was reading was Serenity Rose. Serenity Rose led me to Hiveworks. And like, me being there is probably me being there and me reading, and me reading the Black Cat manga are probably the two main things that have me in this industry as it is, right? And so watching what was to me a bastion fucking fuck up so badly is shocking. And like when you read the comments from the people who work there, this is one that it's from Crispy that I really wanted to get to. When you read the comments of people who were there and who left and who are still kind of disconnecting, it reads of a location where like they were stealing funds from projects. People's projects were randomly overturned because it was for no discernible reason that anybody can actually articulate, right? Right? And they never felt at home. They never felt fucking at home. Even Skull, August, is explained in chat how they had to ask Hiveworks to burn their shit because they didn't trust them. Like they didn't even trust them to send it back. They were like, no, burn it, because I would rather never, ever, ever, ever have to even just deal with you ever again. Right? And like, one more. If you don't know this, and this is okay if you don't, Hiveworks has a sister site called Slipshine. They're kind of under the same name, but Slipshine is basically the porn side of Hiveworks. They do porn. They're a porn collective. They make porn comics together, right? Good for them. Love to see you make your jack off material. And like the people over at Slipshine are equally have their own. The cost of it would not have been worth what was left. The thing is, August, right? You shouldn't have had to even pay to ship it back. Like I'm not trying to say they should ship everything to you for free or whatever, but a disconnect is like a leaving. A paying for the ship back would be like a parting gift, like a let's leave on good terms behavior, right? Even shitty places I've worked at have done that for me. I once moved 2 countries, and the shitty job I worked at mailed all of my stuff to my house as like a let's not leave on bad terms. They just wanted to be fucking stupid. Like you just didn't trust them. You knew they wouldn't be good to you, and so you decided, fuck it, we ball. And I don't blame you, to be honest, right? And the people who wait, oh Jesus, the people who are over at Hiveworks and their involvement with and the people over at Slipshine are suffering from the fact that like they've just been managed by the biggest fucking douche in all of humanity. Like this one from Jacqueline is truly depressing, right? So Jacqueline explains how like Hiveworks came in and took control of Slipshine from them, basically overnight. Like while they were dealing and recovering from their own mental health issues and recovering from alcoholism, right? They just suddenly assumed ownership and started operating like they owned it. That's it, right? Zalette was not a good manager. They have no idea if they should actually even own Hiveworks. And quite honestly, without the Slipshine money, Hiveworks wasn't gonna do anything. Like, they were operating like shit, and then Slipshine had a good source of money because they were making porn. And that's all that kept them afloat. And I don't disbelieve Jacqueline on this. Because this kind of mismanagement is not like, this kind of mismanagement is what we would call endemic. It is not something that shows up arbitrarily. They didn't just have a bad month and decide to be a fucking idiot, right? They've been a fucking idiot. What mattered is if you can hide being an idiot, right? You can see that behavior in places like Tapas. Tapas spent a lot of its career being run by a literal moron. I could not consider the guy who ran Tapas anything less than a moron for most of the time Tapas was run. He was an idiot the whole time. But what it was people needed a location, the comics were good, other people were basically bolstering the fact and hiding the fact that he was a moron. And the moment he showed his face being a moron, he showed his ass, everyone fucking left, right? Everyone fucking left. And that's why he and his head of content, his vice president, or whatever they call that dickhead, were too busy in a room pissing at each other, right? I got two in, this is so fucking petty, I'm sorry. But I got two, there were two tapas, there's three tapas I know about. And the one was when they tried to force every comic on their platform into right of first refusal, basically making it so that tapas had right of first refusal to try and buy your IP, meaning that you couldn't just buy it without first negotiating. You couldn't sell it without first negotiating with them. Even if your negotiation was just to reject them, you had to negotiate with them. They tried to do that to every comic on the platform. Didn't fucking work out, right? Didn't fucking work out for them. And the second bullshit thing was, it's just like information I have from people who work there. Apparently they were trying to get someone's comic. It didn't work out. And then the CEO and the second in command were in a screaming match that one of the employees recorded and sent to me. It's just like 5 years ago, by the way. I've had this recording on my computer for like 5-6 years. And then the third one was something that apparently involved me somehow. But I don't want that. I don't want to really talk about that one because I think I just pissed someone off. But that's whatever. Anyway, I just pissed someone off and I ended up in the middle of a conversation with other things. Me. Anyway, what do you mean anyway? To my Silent Hill 2 fans out there. Anyway, I do have a forbidden recording. Anyway, what I'm just getting at here is like this behavior, this failure to operate as a competent company is a systemic issue. Is a systemic issue that has definitely been in Hiveworks from the start. And I think one of the worst parts about co-ops failing is that they put about collectives failing is that they put the business model and the operational system in jeopardy because nobody wants to trust it anymore, right? No one wants to trust it anymore because nobody wants. This is the Cartoonist Cooperative. I'm a member, by the way. You should all join the Cartoonist Cooperative. Nobody wants to trust collectives anymore as their own, largely because, if I'm being honest with you, they keep failing. They keep failing, or they keep not offering people the development that they want. Right? I think one of the big things that drew people to Hiveworks was that it was a place where, through some system, some magic, you could develop your IP. Like a lot of creators don't care. They just want to make the shit that they love, right? But a lot of other creators really want their comic to have a book. Really want their book to have a blah, 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 right? They want a next step to their content because they don't want to spend the rest of their life only making the comic, and they want to eventually end up the same way any popular mangaka wants to end up, right? A fucking anime somewhere maybe would be awesome, you know? A book series would be awesome, you know? Doing an interview on like a big New York, and like the New York Times would be cool. Like we all want one of those. We all want that a little bit. And maybe some of us want it more than others. And Hiveworks is a place that seemed to offer, to some extent, access to some of this shit, right? It put you in a really prestigious position. And if you didn't know this, up until very recently, the Eisners would not let you nominate yourself. You had to nominate yourself through a publisher. And one of the publishers that the Eisners acknowledged was Hiveworks for digital comics. It was Hiveworks. Hiveworks could have nominated a comic at any time. Global Comics, by the way, is also acknowledged by Hiveworks, if you didn't know this. By the Eisners. Global Comics is acknowledged by the Eisners, so is Hiveworks, so is Webtoon, and so is Tapas. And like, these are all things that allowed you to aim for prestige. Hiveworks never nominated fucking anyone. I know. This pissed me off, by the way. Do you know how I found out that Hiveworks can nominate someone? I just called someone I know who works with someone at the Eisners, and I was like, hey, this is like a year and a half ago when I was talking about the Eisners. Like, everyone in the channel remembers. But I called someone and I was like, hey, can you just tell me the platforms that can nominate? Because I have some names here. And I started listing names to this guy. And he tells me, yeah, we recently added Global Comics sometime. And I was like, oh, cool. What about this one? I mentioned Hiveworks. He's like, yeah, they can. We sent them an email years ago or something like that. So I don't know if that email exists anymore. I don't know if he's just bullshitting me, but apparently they could have nominated someone. They just never did. I don't fucking know why. I couldn't tell you why, man. It's nuts. It's fucking nuts. Like, the amount of legitimacy that they carry as a platform is nuts. And no one's gonna have that ever again, really, easily. At least as easily as they got it. They basically got it the moment they were popular. The moment they popped off and had like one or two big comics, right? Everyone else has to fight for that legitimacy, and they got it for free, and they fucking squandered it. So only original, because Webtoon loves winning Eisners, man. Webtoon fights for the Eisners. You have to pay money to nominate an Eisner. I should tell you that. You do have to pay money to nominate an Eisner, but Webtoon nominates fucking Eisners all the time. Like, what? Tapas can nominate Eisners. Global Comics can nominate Eisners. Everyone can nominate Ringos. All of them can nominate Ringos too, by the way. But they can also all nominate Eisners as far as I'm aware. So, that's fun. Anyway, where are we now with the Hiveworks Guild? Yeah, it costs, I think, and this is not a real number because I have the nomination document for the Eisners. I have it on my computer, and like it doesn't say an amount on it, but I think the amount is paid later. Like they request it from you to review your book. I think for some of them, I think it's very low though. I think it's like $100 or something, or like you need to send and mail a physical copy of your book, something like that. So it's not like expensive, but it is an amount of money, right? Anyway, the things that we can do right now to help the guild out, to help everyone out. A bunch of people from Hiveworks left and have joined. Obviously. I left and have joined the Chimera Comics Collective, which has now gotten a much better website since the last time I saw it. I'm not going to say anything further. I do think that, if you want to support the people from there, like I'm going to do with Phantom Marine, I'm going to be here reading because I'm a Phantom Marine fan, if you did know that. Oh, there it is, right? If you didn't know that. So I'm going to be here reading stuff every so often. The other things is just tell people that this place is not fucking good. Do not go to Hiveworks. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. Just fucking abandon these assholes. They're donezo, frankly. The people who still work at Hiveworks are definitely nice people. Because remember, they're owed 17 grand. They're busy helping creators like disconnect themselves and move on, right? Rather than having them stay connected to Hiveworks. And the people who are still working on Hiveworks, actually doing work, bless their souls for the amount of effort that they're putting in, right? But just go support people over at Chimera Collective. It's where all the creators, their bosses apparently were huge jerks. It's where the creators who left Hiveworks, some of them have gone to there, Chimera Collectives. It's a community. It's more of a community volunteer group than it is a collective company. But frankly, I think that's what they want. I think they want. They do not want a centralized leadership over their shit anymore. I think they're done with that shit right now. Reasonable. And also, I think the big one, and the reason I even made this stream is like, don't fucking speculate on shit. Like, don't guess people's motives. Yeah, it's a Webbringer in a Discord. Cool. Don't guess people's motives. Don't do anything. All I've ever done is call Zell a moron, which I'm allowed to do. I think if you squander your shit, you're a moron. But that's not like a legal opinion I'm having, right? I'm allowed to think you're dumb because I think that the things that your company has gone wrong without saying you did some magically bad thing, right? Centralized leadership as webcomics suffer. No, Hika, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's ever been true. I think one of the things that happens, the repeating history thing you're mentioning, if you see the comment of Hika in Twitch chat, I don't think it's true that centralized leadership plus webcomics equals suffering. I think the reality is that like a substantial number of people who want to be in charge of webcomic companies or just in charge of anything really are sociopaths. Like they have sociopathic tendencies. They love leadership. They love power. And like when you love leadership and you love power, it makes you like a fucking idiot. It just does. It just seems to do that to everybody who wants power and leadership and ownership. It makes you a fucking idiot. I couldn't tell you why, frankly. I couldn't tell you why, but it seems like Never. You don't get a sinless webcomic leader. You know what you get? You know what you get if you want a webcomic leadership that is nice and good for you and all that stuff. Get someone who doesn't want to fucking do it. But the problem is that means their time is limited. Like fully. I'm doing my webcomic collective thing, and even I'm like, this is like 4 years of my life tops. As soon as 4 years is done, I think I quit. Like that's where I am mentally already as it is. I'm exhausted not doing it. Just thinking about it exhausts me. I can't imagine having to do it. But I think a substantial number of people want to be in power, and most companies are just a little bit sociopathic. And they do anything they can for the company's survival or for the company's benefit. And it depends on what they view as the company, right? So it seems from everything that happened that Zell viewed the company as themselves. They were the company. They made the company. They gave it life, and they were the purpose of the company until they, I guess, seemingly either lost interest or lost will and went hands off, right? If you look at other companies like Webtoon, the CEOs and the CTOs view the bottom line and the money that the company earns as the company. If the company does not make even more money year on year, the company is in jeopardy and in trouble and will not survive, right? It depends on how everyone views that idea. I personally have always viewed the company as the people in it. Like, that's my big thing. That's my mental when I think of a company. It's the people who work in it and the way they affect things. And when you view things like that, maybe it changes your decision making. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know, frankly. I don't know when we get a sinless webcomic leader. I don't know when we get the right person in charge of a webcomic company that isn't going to fuck you over, right? Because they all do. They all do, because the reality is this. And I'm going to just fucking end this topic with this. Every single company that operates in the niche that you care about does not have the same priorities as you. All of them. It doesn't matter if they are a collective. It doesn't matter if they are a corporate environment. They do not have the same interests as you. Your job as a member of the company is operating in such a way as to either mold their interests to fit yours or operate in such a way that fits their interests. And with the collective, the benefit of the collective is you can do the first one much easier than the second one, right? You can convince them and plant your ideas, etc. But fundamentally, if more people at the collective view the direction of the company differently from you, you will get fucked over. Not on purpose sometimes as well, right? If fundamentally, like, let's say we start a collective called the Piss Comics Collective, right? Why am I saying this? Anyway, we start that and we decide that, and you join because you know we're gonna pee on the comics. And then, like, a year in, a bunch of the members get together and, like, at the next, like, town hall, they go, let's stop doing that. That's bad. It's a waste of paper. You, who had your interest in that, no longer get what you want, and then we stop being the Piss Comics. We start being the Read Comics Collective. And your interests are no longer being served, right? And you may try to convince this and put your heart in the way, and you're gonna get fucking bulldozed because nobody agrees with you anymore. The only thing that you can do when you are in a collective or in a company of any kind is, again, be influential enough to get the things that you want done. Have if your ideas are very niche, have a well thought out direction for it, and hope that your leadership is smart enough to recognize that. That's always going to be the reality you operate in. If you're in any other company, try and make your shit to fit what they need. Like, I hope I'm not being a doomer, but I hope I'm also sounding reasonable. I don't want to be a doomer, but I hope I sound really reasonable, because I don't think it ever mattered. Other than this severe mismanagement of funds is not the norm. But you are always going to get someone who's going to treat you like shit somehow, whether on purpose or not, right? And it will largely be because their goals are antithetical to yours. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just insane. Like, maybe I'm saying this and I just made that stupid fucking example and you all heard it and went, this guy's dumb. Either way, I think I'm cooking, okay? I think I'm cooking. And that's what really counts in the end. Anyway, guys, that's the Hiveworks thing. If you have anything further to ask about it, that'll be a great time to ask. It seems like there's at least one Hiveworks creator on here, so it'll be a great time to ask them questions, and then we can talk to them. I'd love to talk to August if they've got time, because I have like two questions. It'd be good to like stream that conversation. August, do you have a Discord that I can speak to you on? Away from your computer? Absolutely cringe. Living your life, having a good time. I can't believe you've done that to me, August. I'm gonna lose it. I'm eating dinner. You know, you should inform me about these things before I make my comments about this comics collective. Yeah, I know. Imagine having a life, goals, and things in your life that you want. Imagine having a dinner at what should be 5 p.m. I think one way it could work is to flatten out any incentive and operate only as a service provider to creators. Then you eliminate any risk of direction. Yeah, like if you align yourself so deeply with the creators, it reduces the chances of you doing that, and reduces the chances of you being a fuckwit, right? It completely does, Sam. But like, I'm acknowledging the fact that, like, you know, companies sway, you know, companies sway undeniably, and controlling that sway is hard, especially if your leader is strong in terms of like, if they have like a very deeply strong opinion and also a very strong presence within the company, right? It's very hard for you to counteract that sway, and even if the company is completely set up to be aligned with you, and that's just reality. Also, it's 6:30. God, it's 11:30 here, man. I gotta go to bed at some point. Not till I'm done 3D printing. Also, every creator should get a 3D printer, by the way. Every comic creator, you should buy one 3D printer. Buy a cheap 3D printer in your house. But no, Thrill is right on YouTube. Thrill on YouTube is right. We to an extent, flattening out your incentive, operating only as a service provider, not ever getting your finger in the pie of the publishing. But the problem as well, this is the other thing, Sam. If you don't get your finger in that pie a little bit, your profit margin gets so thin that you may not be able to operate to increase your scale as a service provider, which is what some people worry about. I don't agree with needing to worry about that, but a lot of people worry about that for that reason. You know? Because the margins on a book, if you do it right, can be really high. And if you're the one getting like at least a decent amount of the upside, and you also have your own marketing goals, etc., you might want to do that so that you can have enough money to help everyone else in your collective. I'm not saying it's the way you should think about it. I'm just saying that's the way you would justify it to yourself as a company. Right? Like, as you're operating, you'll be like, oh, maybe we should just publish one book. Oh, more that you are the collective's client. Oh, you mean like, oh, I see what you're saying, I think. You operate more as like the end consumer of their work. You're like, oh, I'm here to buy from you rather than I'm here to develop your stuff. I'm here to pay you for stuff to do stuff, what you call it? To do stuff with. Not I'm here to pay you for stuff to do stuff for you. Like changing your direction, so to speak, with them. That makes sense. No, that makes sense. Huh. I never actually thought about it like that. I think the other thing is don't get venture capital. Of the only that's a lie. The only good webcomic platform right now is Namikomi. They're the only ones who set their goals on day one and have stuck to their goals completely and have in no way caved to any other interest. Namikomi number one, as they say. And even with all that, Namikomi is not doing great. But they did take venture capital money. I think they're probably doing great internally, but from the outside looking in, I don't know how it's going. I don't know because the numbers don't look good. But I'm sure inside they're doing fine. Yeah, Sam. I understood that. Wait, from which VC? Oh, I don't remember which. Venture capital firm. I don't remember, but I do know they raised $1 million, 1.5, something like that. It's public information. You can just look it up. It was like they raised about $1 million. It's not like a big secret. Good for them. Sure, Ilya. Let's talk about it, right? Because I think it's actually important to talk about. I meant to write paint. I think it's important to talk about why webcomic companies feel like they need to have VC. Because I think the thing is, you're seeing webcomic companies as a hosting platform, right? You're seeing them as like just a hosting platform. And so, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about why webcomic companies need VC, at least think they need VC money. Because I think it's important to like view that. One of the main reasons they think they need VC money is scaling. So, like, when you start any website or any platform, your number one concern is increasing over time, right? Your number of readers. I wrote readers. Increasing over time your number of readers, right? You want to make the reader number go up, go burr. But the only way to do that is to spend money on advertising. So if you want reader number to go up, oh wait, I forgot to switch screen, my bad. Ilya, if you say just host good comics, I swear to God, I'm going to punch you through the screen. Anyway, I'm not even taking this as a joke anymore. Stop. No. But no, if you want like, you want number to go up, right? You want that. You want number to go up, right? You want readers to go up over time. And you actually want time to be very short because there's a critical mass of readers that you need to reach to make money, depending on your operating environment. Especially because hosting a webcomic is cheap as shit, right? For context, hosting an image right now under 100, if I hosted 100 creators comics, let's say like 20 pages each, right? It will cost me, no joke, per month, especially if I hosted it on my servers, on my systems and everything, energy costs alone would be like $4 a month, if that. And that's hosting 20 pages, that's hosting 2,000 pages. I'm saying $4 a month to be conservative. Like, quite frankly, I could probably host 20,000 pages for $4 a month, right? As long as I had the storage pre-existing, right? And I did some depreciation of my servers, right? So this part, the hosting is cheap. Hosting is cheap, very cheap, especially for images. Not as much for videos, but still very cheap. Then if you look at the labor, like the actual work, so the creator work over time, to attract the readers, you need to do two things. Spend more money on advertising, which is one of the things, and to make more comics. You need to make more comics. I feel like for everyone who's been making comics a while, this is obvious shit, but to make more comics at scale, to be able to meet the demands of the readers, you need to spend more money. So the more makes you have, the higher the cost. That's just it. But the thing is, with comic making is that the cost is exponential. It doesn't like, unless you work with the comic studio, which is one of the reasons why Webtoon and all those people are importing more and more comics, right? Unless you work with a comic studio, the cost doesn't do this, which is what you usually would get. Like if you work with, the cost doesn't do this, which is what you usually would get. For what I mean by that is, if you work with the comic studio, like DC, like DC, what's they called again? Fuck. The people who make Overgeared. But whatever, if you work with them or Studio N or whatever, each comic would cost you a lot of money, right? But not DC and Marvel. I mean, like, there's one from China, from Korea. Don't worry about it. But each comic costs you a lot of money. But over a certain time, when you start making way, way more comics, the cost like reduces. I drew this graph completely wrong. I meant to do this. Anyway, yeah. the cost like reduces. So the cost increase goes down while the number of things you make goes up. Because when you pay for a comic company to help to make stuff, right? They have a per unit cost where they'll be like, oh, the thing is very expensive, thing's very expensive, thing's very expensive. Then you're making like 10 things and they'll be like, oh, we'll give you a 10 thing discount. And the price will only go up by a little bit, but the amount of things you've made have gone up by a lot. We'll give you a 50 things discount. Now you make 50 comics for like a $500. No, that's a lie. But you make 50 comics for like an amount of money. And it's a lot of money, but per comic, you're spending a very low amount of money, right? That's what it's like if the comic platform worked with comic companies. But they don't. To make the kind of unique content that appeals to reader interest, you often, at least at the start, need unique comics made by unique individuals to find the things that people want to tap into, right? And so often you find yourself operating a little bit more like this, where you're getting fewer and fewer comics while spending more and more money because each creator wants their 50K or whatever number you're giving them. This is the main environment where cost happens in the comic environment, getting the comics, the content. The content is the biggest cost. Devs don't cost that much in the grand scheme of things. They can be expensive, but you need like 2 or 3 of them. 2 or 3 devs at the start for like at least the first 3 or 4 years. You could make do with 3 devs, tops. No joke. As long as you're not making an app and you're mostly focusing on a website, you'll be fine. If you're making an app, you can contract out to a third party, or you can end up hiring a third party and end up with 5 devs. And with the way online hiring works for computer science, you can actually hire from a really cheap country like Honduras or Malaysia or like Indonesia, and you will get really competent developers with really good design skills, and they will cost you nothing. Like this is not a big cost. This is not a big cost. Content is like your biggest cost in almost all regards. They cost you the most money. They're the biggest pains in the asses. Because not only do you, I mean this with love, by the way, because not only do you have to pay for their content, you have to pay for support staff for them, right? You have to pay for every level of support staff that they need. And they often need a lot of support staff. For every, I think it's every 15 creators, you need 1 support staff that is dedicated to those 15 creators to have, at least at the start. The number like 1 to 15 or 1 to 10, something like that, right? And so if you end up at 30 comics, you need 2 support staff. 100 comics, you need, I forget how to divide, but whatever, 10 support staff, right? And of course, as you gain comics more and more and you get better at it, you can increase the individual load per support staff, but it's not easy because support staff is also expensive. They're the support staff are people who end up with doing things like editing, do things like pushing your opinions to the management, do things like greenlighting comics, do things like helping you with any level of marketing. So the actual marketing the company does, support staff greenlights your marketing and puts it along and helps you create marketing material and helps you have a defined vision and helps you understand the audience you're tapping into and how to reach them, how to communicate with them. Like this is your editor, this is your copywriter, this is your proofreader, this is all those people. That's your support staff, right? Your assistants. They're expensive. That's often why platforms don't actually let you don't pay for your support staff. They make you pay for it because this cost is high. Like you're already expensive. This cost is very high. And all creators don't do that because they don't all know who to hire or have the money to hire people. Especially at the start, platforms have an incentive to provide them with additional services. Do they all do it? No, but they do have an incentive to do so. They fit the cost because they need to get the creators in. Why would you, listen, man, if I'm offering you the same pay as Webtoon, but I don't get you the same viewership as Webtoon, why the fuck would you come here? I can pay you, I can pay you 10K. I can offer you 10K and you join me for the money. Fair enough. But if I give you 10K and your comic gets 5 reads, are you going to stay? And this is to everyone in chat. This is serious. If I paid you $10,000, right? $10,000 per season. Yeah, go take care, bud. If I pay you $10,000 per season, right? And you got 4 reads a season, do you stay working here? This is to every creator in chat. Do you stay working here? If I'm giving you 10K and you only get 4 reads, be serious. Yeah, money though. Money, while you're making that shmoney, so to speak, 10K isn't very much, by the way. But that way you're making that shmoney, right? Your like actual long-term viability as a creator is like going this way. Right? Like while you're making the money, your viability is reducing. How many fake IDs can I create? None. Yeah, no, because I could get more reads yelling into the void. Reads are like incredibly valuable. One of the most valuable assets you have as a creator are your reads, which is one of the reasons I've been the biggest proponent of telling creators to treat comics a lot more like YouTube, man. Your readers are your most valuable asset because converting them consistently is what makes you a useful person to the publishers, to the other people that can make you money, to the animators. Having a strong reader base is important for you, and having a strong control over your reader base is important for you. You need to be a cult leader, man. You need to be a cult leader. And unfortunately, most creators are not doing that, but they're getting their 50K, 60K, 100K per season and like not doing the cult leader work. So they end up with 100K per season and 4 fucking reads. Good for you. You take your 300K, which you're going to burn through in the next 5 years with inflation, and like you're no audience, and figure out how you're going to get your next book off the ground. Right? Like, what are we saying? Or if the platform fucking implodes and dies, what then? And like, we're talking about Hiveworks. Why the fuck am I pissed off about this? Why do you think they are? I mean, to an extent, creators have poor marketing skills. They've always had that. And the ones that do have good marketing skills are overworked. Like, to an extent, it's poor marketing skills. To an extent, it's being overworked. Until like the third, fourth extent, I guess the thing that's also important here is that the creator space is the audience of those platforms are sticky. They're very, very, very sticky. And it's only very recently that they've decided to become unsticky for the benefit of the creator. That is very new behavior. When you look at past Webtoon, while they've always loved their creators, the readers have always been sticky. They don't want to leave Webtoon. They don't want to leave Tapas. They don't want to leave whatever. They want to stay there and die there, right? They want one app and they don't want 5 apps. So only very recently with the emergence of so many new content platforms, people are way more comfortable with having like multiple platforms on their phones that suddenly readers are unsticky. They're now more comfortable saying things like, I'm going to go here if the creator is more supported. That's new. That's very new. And yeah, I know what you're saying, Ilya. I understand that. Okay, I get you. All right, but like you're not normal, Ilya. I'm saying this to you with love, because I do what you do. We're not normal. God forbid you make a kid switch apps in the multitasking menu. Yeah, no, 100% they'll die. To be honest, it's exhausting for a single comic creator to have to be full on social media marketer all the time. The thing is, Konichiwa, they don't have to be, but creators don't know how to leverage people to do that. And I agree with you. It is exhausting, even if they didn't have to be. Just doing the management of your social media is exhausting. You know, being and the reader base is difficult to convert, and you got to do this, you got to do that. It's so much work, and it's a lot. Comic marketing is hard, man. It's not that good. There's good comic marketing. There's really good comic marketing. But remember, comic marketing isn't always about making your comic popular. It's about visibility. So good marketing doesn't care if it gets 100,000 reads or 5 reads. Good marketing cares if there's enough marketing that people are aware, at least to some extent, of the name Villains Are Destined to Die. Right? People are aware of that name. People are aware of the name like Abandoned in a Backwater Dungeon, or whatever that stupid comic with the long ass name is. People are aware of the name Ava's Demon. It doesn't matter if they ever buy Ava's Demon, but that fact that they are aware of Ava's Demon means that they are more likely to make a decision that leads them to Ava's Demon in the long term. But it also means they're more likely to bring up that to their friends, or their friends are more likely to get that in their feeds. It's a constant game you're playing here. That's where platforms need to come in. I do agree with that. Platforms involving social marketing is very, very important. Webtoons has never been deeply invested in marketing off platform. Never. Like it's been their number one problem. They're very bad at attracting new audiences, and in fact, their creators have done most of their audience attraction for them. And if it wasn't like, especially things like Lore Olympus popping off in the young female demographic, the young women of Webtoon have literally carried that fucking platform. Let me be blunt. I'm more than advertised the release of my last webcomic. I commissioned my friends. Some of them posted their work on their own sites to their own audiences too. Yeah. Good marketing is about awareness. Consistent, regular awareness. And I think a platform that is strongly aware of how valuable marketing is playing that game constantly, in ways that are unconventional. You're not always worried about the social media post. You're worried about showing people the creator's work. You're worried about introducing to new people. You're worried about the crossover of people's content and the audience members, the deep awareness of what that creator's value is to their audience and to the audiences of other people, or could be to the audiences of other people, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, yeah. Yeah. They could have comics you haven't read yet. They could have, here are 10 comics from people who have the same taste as you. Things that, because the thing is, it's not even just about having the comics and even pushing them programmatically. It's about telling people that they come from people with similar taste. It makes them act differently. If you go tell somebody, like, hey, you want to read Black Cat, the manga, you're going to love it because, everyone who's read the stuff you've read loves Black Cat. They actually go check it out. It's different from if you just tell them stuff for you. Because that's what that means. When you see like a for you section, it's because everyone who read what you read would like to read what's on the for you. But people want to be told that it's people that the people who are reading these comics also read what they read. Right? It's copy. It's marketing copy. It's very basic marketing copy. Right? Go read Hellphone. Go read fucking 2120. Go read Check Please. These are just books in my fucking library right now. Go read Devil's Candy, right? Because people who read Kiss It Goodbye and Never Satisfied also read Devil's Candy. And you did both of those things. Ow, my hand, I just fucking hit my hand on the table. I'm in pain, right? It's external and social validation. And I think platforms are bad at it. I think creators are bad at it. Because here's the other thing. Creators don't say, if you like this and if you like that, you should read my comic. This is a really bad thing I've seen creators do. Creators have this weird feeling that they need to be unique and interesting. And so if you tell them, hey, these comics are really similar to yours, they get offended. And I'm like, get over yourself, girl. Get over yourself. It's nothing wrong with saying, this is if this is if Freyren and everything is fine met. But get over your embarrassment. This is marketing. Stop being an embarrassed baby. Be a Chad. Don't be embarrassed. Be strong. Be powerful. You do fit in with Big Bro. I'm not gonna lie. You and Big Bro got a lot in common. You and Big Bro got a lot in common. Be honest. Dude, do you know one of the things I used to love? There was a comic I used to love reading. Fuck, what was it? I think it was from one of my favorite creators. I have two. I have only like two favorite creators. I think it's Konori and Momojiji. Those are like my two top creators, frankly. Right? But I used to tell Momojiji's comic Blackburn to people by saying, I used to tell people it's basically reading the emotional pain of having siblings in a comic. But the other thing I used to tell people is like, oh, this has got like elements of, what's the thing I used to say? I need to open my DMs 1 second. I used to say this has got elements of like the seriousness and the focus of stuff like Dead Man Wonderland. If you like reading comics where the characters, where some of the characters are incredibly serious about what they're doing and have like, are very secretive about who they are. But also it's got like the art like detail of like a Serenity Rose or like a what do you call it? Or like an Ice Shield 21. You know what I mean? That kind of deeply detailed comic. And like people I know who read stuff, a lot of the stuff I read know what I'm talking about. I wouldn't use that as marketing. Don't use that as marketing copy. But I'm just saying, like, you can talk about it like that. Anyway, I had like a different topic to talk about today. Why the fuck are we on this topic? Moving on. I'm not doing this with you people. You guys derail me constantly. I have other things. I have other things to get to today. Anyway, you know what? See how they blame us, chat? I blame you because you guys are really nice, actually. You guys are pretty cool. I like you. I never got to talk about this, but the Naver residency program. I know one person who went on it. It was great. Naver residency program apparently was really good. They flew out some creators to LA. They did a 2-week in-person workshop. They had like a really good time. Everyone I know who went there had a good time. I knew one person who went there, and I know one person who talked about going there, like third party. They had a really good time. They had a fun time. And also, creators will also be invited to Korea next year, or this year, actually. Right? So guys, Webtoon's investing in more and more creator stuff. I think Webtoon is realizing to an extent that the AI stuff isn't working out. And the reason I'm talking about the AI stuff a little bit, the AI content creation has not been working out. And AI in general has not been working out for a lot of people. Talking about that because Samsung, you guys know Samsung, right? Samsung decided to start what they called the SSAFY, which has 8,500 jobs for youth. It basically means the Samsung Youth Software and AI Academy, right? The idea is to help young people make stuff. And why am I bringing this up to you? You might be like, why are you bringing up Samsung Youth, blah, 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 blah? Because one of the big goals of the Samsung Youth Academy, AI Technology and AI Academy is developing Webtoon creation programs for image, video-based 3D motion and pose extraction. Samsung is Korean. Samsung is owned by a family in Korea. It's like one of the biggest chaebols in Korea. I think it is the biggest chaebol in Korea, literally. It's like it supports the entire economy of the nation. Anyway, one of the things that this AI group is looking into is Webtoon creation tools, right? And I'm always fascinated by the fact that people are still doing this because, and this is something I wanted to show you guys from the beginning. This is like the last 3 topics. This article from the Times of India, right, that came out about Salesforce. If you don't know this, Salesforce is it's a lead generation and resolution tool. And also it helps people manage customer service. I think it's mostly for lead generation. What that means is that I've covered every tried and failed Sloptune startup. But I think if you don't know what lead generation means, it just means like finding somebody who you can sell something to and figuring out a way to get them to buy stuff from you. More or less. I think Sam will tell me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. What matters is Salesforce fired 4,000 employees. They fired 4,000 employees and they started using AI. Like that was last year, by the way. That was last year they announced that they fired 4,000 employees. And like they went from 9,000 people to 5,000 people. And their CEO, Mark Benioff, was like on CNN being like, yeah, on CNBC being like, yeah, we did it and it's good. I need less heads. That's what he said. I need less heads, right? And now Salesforce is talking about how like it's been bad. The AI models make really weird fucking mistakes. Their CTO of Salesforce is saying this. The models make really weird fucking mistakes, which mean that people, especially people higher up in the company, are spending more time putting out the fires caused by the AI models and actually doing their jobs. People at the bottom of the company find themselves having to correct the AI when talking to people more than anything. So they don't actually get to do more work. They don't actually get to like do and achieve more. And even funnier with the whole AI thing, which I think is really funny, is that the AI always loses focus, forgets its primary objective, regularly can be tricked. No matter what model they use and what they paid for, it's really flawed. They spend more time fixing issues than doing anything else. And it has cost them a ton of productivity, right? Their stock has declined, their productivity has declined, the hallucinations are bad and not going away anytime soon, right? And they're realizing that like the people at the bottom of the company, in the middle of the company, who used to know things like how to fix specific specialist problems, they fired them. So like sometimes problems arise and they take forever to fix because the guy that knew how to fix the problem, they fired him. Yeah. They thought they could fucking half their population and have AI take over the job of half the people in their company, and it's not fucking working. And so when Samsung tells me they're going to invest what is a lot of money, where the fuck is that Samsung article so I can be pissed off? What is going to be a lot of money to get 8,500 jobs in AI and tech, right? Software and AI. I know that it's going to be a waste of fucking money. And the thing is, I think my favorite thing about this, and I want to find a video, a really good video. I'll show you guys. I'll post it on the Discord sometime. But it's this really good interview with Ben Affleck. If you didn't know this, I'm a big Ben Affleck fan. I know society is not aware, but I am the biggest Ben Affleck fan imaginable. Ben Affleck is quite literally, this is not a joke. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are quite literally two of my biggest media idols. In that I have such deep respect for who they are and what they've achieved and what they do in media and in movies and in TV. And like their knowledge is unfathomable. When they talk about stuff, the depth of which they talk about is important. Anyway, that's enough Ben Affleck glazing for today. Ben Affleck talked about how like using AI models like ChatGPT or Claude to write scripts is shit. And the reason it's shit is because fundamentally it is creating the mean script, right? Like the average script. And the average script is shit. Exceptional scripts are few and far between. The amount of scripts that go into Hollywood and never go anywhere is astronomical. Somebody ended up pointing out that like I think he said in one of a different interview like 2 to 4% of scripts in Hollywood make it. Everything else doesn't. So when you look at like ChatGPT and all the AI generation tools and all the things they make the mean average comic. They make the mean average picture. They make the mean average fucking novel. And it's so disappointing. And it will never not be disappointing. It can't not be disappointing. Because for it to be exceptional, it needs to have new ideas or be able to cobble together ideas in a way that is unique and exceptional. And I'm not saying that humans are the only ones that come up with ideas. That's not true. What I'm saying is that these models are not fit for purpose. And I doubt they ever will be. I doubt they ever will be for a lot of reasons that I'm coming from a tech perspective on saying. But I doubt they ever will be, right? And so when people make AI tools for making comics, you notice that the comics always look like shit. The books always look like shit. The novels always look like shit. Everything looks like shit because it can never be good. But it can be very, very useful, and this is what Ben Affleck said, for when you're very confused about what your next steps are. He said, in the example he puts down, he says the value that it provides is sometimes you want to get from here to there in the story, but you're not sure the exact wording and things. So you tell it that, and it helps you, it creates that step, and then you just go, this is dog shit, but that was the word I was looking for. This is the sequence I was looking for. And you take the sequence and then you rewrite it to not be dog shit. That's what he says. I don't agree, but I don't care at that point. You know? Also, I won't lie. I feel like the best and most timely inspirations will come from people living in the present. Yeah. The thing is, it doesn't matter how pointed your question is. The AI is not being better because it's pointed. The AI could be pointed as hell and be incorrect. Look, I teach programming, man. The one thing the AI is supposed to be good at, I teach programming to children. I teach programming to literal children, right? Their programming problems are not even difficult. And my kids have on more than one occasion asked me to use AI to solve their problems. And I've used AI in front of them, and they've watched it fail. A problem that I could solve in 5 minutes. You know, this is important to understand that it's not, these systems are not built for purpose. These systems we're being told they're built for purpose as a way of hiding the fact that during the pandemic, every company overhired. Every company wanted to fire. They wanted to fire in larger quantities than they should have. So they've been saying AI is the solution. But the AI has never been the solution and has not provided any productivity. Teachers keep getting told that AI is going to make us more productive. Man, one of my coworkers made a worksheet with AI. It looked like shit. It operated like shit. And then even when he was like being very pointed and working very pointed, in the end, he ended up writing half the questions anyway. Over half the questions. So what was the point? He could have just done the work. He could have just done the work. And that's just true. That's true about like the thing. It's not fit for purpose. If you're already a competent person, this slows you down. If you're an incompetent person, this gives you a false sense of security. And so I think Webtoon is recognizing that when they invest more and more money in their residency program. These are expensive. These are expensive programs. But they're recognizing, and I think rightly, that like the future isn't in AI. The future of content creation and content consumption is not in AI. And the AI stuff, even things vaguely related to AI, get panned by audiences. On average, people, even when they don't know it's AI, don't like it. Somehow they see it. They realize it's bad. And if the thing can emulate real art, we then need to, and let's say it could emulate and fool people. We need to start asking a question. What the fuck is the point? Why do we want to create a world of distrust where people are reading things, don't want to read stuff made by a computer, want to read stuff made by a human, and they're just lying to them? If you're a creator who can create indistinguishable work with AI, why are you lying to your audience? Why are you lying to your audience? You know? Why not just... And at the point at which you're putting in a lot of work to make the thing, you know what you could have done? It's not a joke. This is serious. You could have just made the thing, right? You could have just made the thing. And like art, especially in art, and this is the thing, if you want to make the argument for like drugs, office productivity for bullshit slides and spreadsheets, you know, I get you. I really do get you. But if you want to make the conversation for art, art is a luxury good. Why do you want to cheapen a luxury good by making it so painfully cheap that nobody wants to buy it anymore? What benefit do you gain? This is like when those Chinese companies make Louis Vuitton bags. Like, you know, benefit, nothing is gained. You're just making Louis Vuitton cheap. You're just making Louis Vuitton cheap. Nothing is gained. Make the Louis Vuitton bag orange for fuck's sake. It doesn't matter. You're just making it cheap. Webtoon isn't copy and pasting 3 different plots. That's the thing. I think people who have that perception of the comics environment have a very niche and a very specific perception of what webtoons are. Webtoons do not copy and paste plots. Webcomics in general don't do that. What you're seeing is that there is a set of mass-produced webcomics that provide and produce a certain emotion. Because some people, much like in novels, much like in television, want to read and watch slop. There's nothing wrong with it. We all watch The Days of Our Lives, Emmerdale, One Tree Hill. Like, you know, One Tree Hill was good. You know, a Scrubs, a Friends, a Days of Our. I said Days of Our Lives. I'm trying to think of EastEnders, Coronation Street. We've all watched a thing like that, right? This copy and paste sitcom, drama show, right? We've all watched that. But the thing is, those shows have uniqueness to them. They all do individually, despite their copy and paste methods. That's why they're remembered and watched. And, you know, if you view a webtoon as like basically copy and pasting 3 different plots, you haven't experienced enough comics. Anyway, that's kind of the last story I have for today. Any questions? That was a good time to complain to me. This is your perfect time, kids. Yeah, I don't read originals generally, but originals are like mostly pretty good. They have a lot of variation in them. Of course, but what you're saying is in a content environment. What you're saying, Ilya, is that in a content environment, some people make generic but charming content. That's true. Oh, do I think they'll start treating creators well? Yes and no. It's probably because it's financially valuable to do so again. Last year, their more cutthroat methods did not seem to work for them. The Webtoon lost a lot of revenue last year. So I think this is them realizing that they can't be so like, they can't operate the way they're currently operating anymore. It's not working out. You know, I mean, you know, they're trying? Question mark. They're trying. I'm just happy to see them do something different. It's been very exhausting being a webtoon hater, and I'd love to be a webtoon lover. So I said, let me put one good news about webtoon from last year. Then they decided this year to do the annoying thing. Yeah, webtoon cuts the duration of some sci-fi comic. If you're talking about the imports like Denma, that's largely a popularity thing. But if it's everyone else, yeah, fair enough. The ones that the ads feed you are usually slop. You got to dig for gems. Not a lot of people have the time for that, so they just read the slop. Slop isn't necessarily bad. I like slop. Dude, I like slop too sometimes. I eat a slop bowl every day. Slop bowl. If the UK got a sweet green, I'm not going to lie, guys. You're going to see me there a lot. If the UK got a sweet green or what's the other one? Kava? Is that the other one? Oh, dude, I am a big villainess comic lover. Yeah, they'll never do that, Ilya. They'll never do that, Ilya, because it reduces the potential pool of people who could pay for stuff. Oh, that was alliteration, guys. Ooh, alliteration. Potential pool of people who could pay for stuff, who could pay for property. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, they can't do that, man. They can't do that. As long as they keep showing you stuff, eventually over time you will get older and you might choose the content. That's why they're doing that. They will never let you do the country one for sure. There should be an isekai genre. I agree. There should be an isekai genre. Isekai genre. The new It Girl is mature content again. Violences are out again. Isekai is in? Did Isekai ever go out, frankly? Isekai has stayed in. My favorite thing is when you see it all come together. Isekai villainess mature content. But it's a romance. Like, dude, I'm waiting for that day. Isekai will never leave, man, because a lot of lonely people would like to leave their lives. Like, that's what it is. Dude, shut up about that. Leave the incel slop alone. I love my incel slop. Tell me I'm going to go to another world and become the most powerful, and then the girls are going to love me. Webtoon has had a ban on M plus things for a while, but they're probably going to come back with that. They've always tacitly supported it. If I go to another world that's basically like Earth, but it's called like Rania or Lumia or Tigra, right? I'm gonna become the most powerful, Baka. I'm gonna become the most powerful, and all the girls will love me, and then I'll become king, right? And I'll unite all the lands. That's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna live out my life working as a farmer in the back. In the most dangerous place in the world, right next to where the dragons are, because I'm so powerful and cool. There was an isekai I started reading at one point that was basically just like he wanted to be a farmer. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be great. He's just gonna be a farmer. He's gonna do homesteading. It's gonna be cute. So he does that, and then randomly while homesteading, a bunch of elves show up, and then he bones them, and I just stopped reading at that point because I was like, come on. Come on. Like, what is happening? They talk about how he's like superior because he got so much mana and also he built houses. And I'm like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And so I stopped reading immediately. Like, I can't. Like, it's literally awful. Dude, do you know what I think I should... Okay, wait, guys, real talk. If you were to isekai right now, this is everybody. You have to choose, all right? Twilight Universe, Pokemon Universe, um, an ordinary universe, or what'd you call it? Lore Olympus, but you're not one of the gods. You're like a regular person. Choose now. Choose. You get one choice. Pokemon You could get fucking killed by a bird. You could get killed by a bird. There's there's not one right answer. Stop. No, if you got, I mean, I guess we're all too old to have powers in the unordinary universe, so fair enough. No, we would have powers, right? And then the Lore Olympus one, we couldn't be the gods because there's a fixed number of gods. So we would have to be like some regular person. I don't want to mimic you. It would kill me if I saw under its outfit. There's no guarantee you get a starter. I would rather die to a bird than not be a god. There's no guarantee you get a starter. The starters are rare. That's like the whole point. All the starter Pokemon are like deeply rare and hard to find. Like you never find them. Even when if you can play the game 100 hours, never find them. What was the first one I said? The Twilight. No. The right place is the Twilight universe. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you people. The right place is the Twilight universe because you get turned to a vampire and then you get to be like, you get to meet a girl or a guy you really like, take them to a garden, a forest garden, and then a little meadow, and when after they fall in love with you, and then have them be like, I know what you are, and you walk and then you appear behind them and be like, say it, a vampire, and then a loud music plays, Debussy plays as always, and then Stephanie Meyer fucking comes out of the ground. She's got a self-insert somewhere. Or if you're really unlucky, Twilight could be a werewolf. If you're really unlucky, Twilight could be a werewolf. And then you could imprint on like a 4-year-old. Apparently that's normal. I'm never gonna be over that shit, man. I'm still not over that shit. She gets born, and then Jacob imprints on her. No! No, dog, I can't. I'm not over it. I am not over it. Oh, so Chris, if you don't know about this, which is surprising, by the way, in the Twilight universe, the werewolves have this thing called imprinting, where they see somebody and like their entire being falls in love with them. It's not like a sex thing. It's like you're in love with them. You would do anything for them. You would literally die for them, right? Like without them, by the way, you die. If you imprint someone, which you could never do your whole life, right? But if you ever imprint on someone, if they leave you, you just die. You waste away. You stop eating. You stop looking after yourself. It's like a thing that you cannot control, and then you die, right? That's the thing in the Twilight universe. And Jacob, who I'm sure you know who Jacob is the main werewolf boy. When Bella gives birth to her child, Renesmee, shit name by the way. When Bella gives birth to her child, when Shark Boy sees her, Shark Boy falls in love with, like, imprints on the baby, like the newborn baby. He imprints on the newborn baby instantly. Like the moment she's seen by him, he imprints on her. And so the story, to kind of justify Jacob imprinting on a baby, right, has Renesmee age rapidly. So she goes from like 0 to 18 in like what was it, like 6 months? And like that's like what they did to justify it, so he wouldn't be a creep. Why are you asking me? Is my name Stephanie Meyer? Is my name Stephanie Meyer? Do I look like the problem here? I'm not the one who put Shark Boy in a movie, right, with no lava girl and made him fall in love with a child. I'm not the one. I wasn't defending the universe. I was just saying that the vampire shit would be funny. I think it would be really funny, really funny to fall in love with someone, take them to a meadow, and then like run really fast through the woods while freaking them out, and then they go, "I know what you are, vampire." I think that would be so funny. I think that would be so funny. Like, you don't understand how much I'm into it. Also, they do have fangs, by the way. They do have fangs. Yeah, we talked about, if you were isekai into Lord Olympus as just a human, your life would just be normal. Like, you would just have the exact same life you have now. You would just be in the universe where you know Lord Olympus is happening. Like, that's it. You would just be knowing that Lord Olympus is happening. You just have a regular job and shit. But Lord Olympus would be happening. Do you at least get their power superpowers as a vampire? Like, could I punch really hard? So every vampire gets a unique superpower. So you would get a unique superpower. It would be random, though. So you could be as lame as Bella's, which is true mental block. She has the ability to truly block all mental abilities. You can't trick her. You can't hit her with your genjutsu. Your is it genjutsu? What's the jutsu? What's the one where the jutsu makes you hallucinate shit? It's not taijutsu. Is it genjutsu? It's genjutsu, right? Anyway, she blocks all genjutsu. No, she doesn't block all abilities. She blocks all genjutsu because she doesn't block super strength. She can't block that shit. She blocks all genjutsu. So all the fucking mind shit doesn't affect her. She can't be able to by the mind shit. She can't be able, and most of the vampire stuff is mind shit anyway. But if you just punch her in the face, like, it hurts her. That's her power. But anyway, your power could be that lame, all the way over to like Alice's power of controlling emotions, or Edward's power of, I think Edward sees the future or some shit. I don't remember what it was. I think he reads minds. One of them sees the future. No, Alice sees the future. Edward reads minds. I don't remember what Carlisle's power is. She doesn't block the electricity girl. The electricity girl is just weak. I'm sorry. The electricity girl is just weak. I hate to say this. Also, if you get taken to the Pokemon universe, you become 10. By the way. You become 10. I want that to be known. You would automatically become 10. And no, you do not. The movie is ass. Stop talking about the movie. Anyway, and also, no, you do not retain all of your knowledge. You will go back to who you were as a 10-year-old. Who were you at 10 years old? Remember who you were for a second. I don't care that there's adults in Pokemon. You will go back to being 10. Whoever you are at 10, that's who you will become. You will then age again, by the way. So you will do the last X number of years you've lived after being 10 again. You will be aware, by the way, that you're doing it again. You just will not have any of your knowledge of being 20 or 40 or whatever. You will just be like, oh, I'm doing life again. No future knowledge, though. No future wisdom. No impulse control. None of that shit. Well, I can mean Pokemon State of Day when I'm 10. Yeah, being a teenager. You guys have problems. You guys need to go to therapy. Whoever said I would love to be 10 again in the Pokemon universe, you need to go to therapy. Like, you need to go to therapy, frankly. No, I'm still picking Pokemon. Shit. People have no taste. Okay. All right. Let's do it. Last one. We're going to do one last one. Right? And I'm going webtoon. I want to pick a few webtoons for this one. So your options are, you know what? Here's your options. Your options are, right? You go into the I Love You universe, right? And you're always involved in the drama, but nobody's in love with you. You're always involved in the I Love You drama, but nobody's in love with you, right? You go... Like, you're always having to, like, have the interventions in the conversation. You're always busy, but just... Oh, this is a Disney manga. This already exists. They just made it vertical. Disney made a lot of manga for a while. Anyway, so you're going to the I Love You universe, but, like, you're just always in the drama, but you never get to... Yeah. No, not fly on the wall. You always have to be talking. You always have to be doing stuff. You're always like you're exhausted from being involved in the drama. You can never stop being involved in the drama, and nobody's ever in love with you. Okay, right? You go into the not remarried empress. I think you're gonna get much from that one. You go into the boyfriend's universe. You go into the boyfriend's universe, but your whole life you spend watching the boyfriends be in love and the girlfriends be in love. You never find love. Okay? You spend the whole time watching the boyfriends and the girlfriends be in love together, and you see them constantly. Like you go to the store, you see them holding hands and walking together. You go to bed and you hear them laughing outside your bedroom, okay? That's the point. And the third one, so we're in love bullet pretty much. Anyway, um, let's see, what's the third one? The third one, you go into actually no, nobody's read this manga but me, so I'm not even going to use that one. Look, I was going to use Girls of the Wilds, but none of you have ever read Girls of the Wilds. I'm the only one who's read Girls of the Wilds here, pretty much. I Love You isn't a romance. It's not. It's just drama. It's pure drama. It's pure, unadulterated drama. The romance of I Love You is like relevant, and then like at some point it goes away. Well, no, it doesn't go away, but it gets weird. I don't want to get into it today. Um, you know what? I think you guys would want to be in. Okay, so those two options, right? Those two options. Or you're in the drama of I Love You, but no one ever falls in love with you. You're in boyfriends, but you have to constantly hear the love of boyfriends and girlfriends, but you never actually get to be in love with anyone. Or you enter a random villainess comic, and the lead is in love with you, but he's like deeply evil. Pick. He's like shockingly evil, like kicks puppies kind of evil. Like he like accidentally chokes out that on purpose chokes out a guard for his entertainment. And then like that's the kind of guy. And oh, no, he will never change, by the way. No matter what you do, he will never change. But he is in love with you for real, for real. No doubt, no doubt. On God. And he admits it, by the way. He's not like being secretive. He admits it. And no, you don't, he's not immortal. He's not immortal. Yeah, I know the story exists down there. I know because there's like a million versions of that story. He's not immortal. To the re-education camp. That I match his free. Remember, you're your regular self. Like you don't go in and are naturally evil. You're just who you are right now. You're just who you are right now at this very moment. Like the person you are, your non-confrontational weak self. Is he hot? I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I can't guarantee anything. You guys know you gotta live like the rest of your life there, right? Like, if he's in love with me, will he listen to my orders? He will not listen to your orders. He loves you, but he does not need you influencing his decision making. He will just ignore you if you try to make him good. I'm not even reading that question, Sola. I'm ignoring that question. Does life lose meaning if you know your world is fictional or does it enhance it? Does it matter? Even if I told you tomorrow that the world is fictional, you wouldn't believe it or care. By the Hirahara. It is not important. I'm not answering that question, Zola. No, he doesn't imprison you. He doesn't imprison you. He doesn't imprison you. Do you think the whole solo leveling webtoon slop has started to calm down? Yeah, it has because those like after solo leveling, we got overgeared like within months, man. Which is the same fucking thing, but in a video game. Like it's the same fucking thing, but in a video game. And if he does, I can feign I was held hostage. If he's like a duke, I'm set for life. I mean, like he could get into war, but like he's like, you know what? No, you guys are fucked up. I don't want to be evil. I don't want to have unethical consumption under capitalism. This world will be real to you, by the way. Like everyone will be real to you. This is not like a book. It's a real world. I do. I want to be evil. Okay. You know what? You guys are on something today. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with my chat. Something's wrong with you. You can be loved by having friends in the boyfriend universe. You know, you could have just made friends with the boyfriends and have like lovely platonic love. You're the one who didn't see that. I want a boyfriend, Dad. Did you ever think of that? Yeah, I did. That's why I didn't offer you that option. Oh, by the way, I found the longest webtoon original. Like literally the physically with the longest episodes webtoon original. Do you guys know what it is? It's the plus 99 reinforced wooden stick manhwa. That manhwa has a lot of full body shots. Like each chapter is 500,000 pixels long. For context, each Lookism chapter is like 156,000 pixels long. Like just to kind of put it into perspective, right? In fact, I'll show you where my data is from. I'll show you my data. Check this out. So chat, check this out. Let's look at this data together. This is all the webtoons. This is all the original webtoons from last year. Call it like August, probably close to August, September. I got all of them. That's why you can even see I have graphic. That's why I have graphic novel here. Check that out, right? But you see this comic here, this on the far. I don't know if you can see it visually on the background. You see that one on the far right? That's the longest, like the one where each episode has the longest average episode length and that one has 500,000 pixel long episodes, and that's plus 99 reinforced stick. That's plus 99 reinforced stick. I'm not even joking. If I just zoom in a little bit, look. Plus 99 reinforced wooden stick, comedy, 500,000 pixels long, total likes 3 million. Like when I went to see, because I was like, how did they do that, right? So I went to just read the latest chapter, and the moment I show you, you're gonna understand it. Check it. This is exactly what they did. Look, you're gonna understand the moment you look at this. Look. This is the chapter, by the way. This is another chapter. Look how tiny if you guys go on this, either the scroll wheel is super tiny. Anyway, this is just the beginning. Big bubble. I'm not even zoomed in at 100%. She's wearing an Hermes shirt. Look at that. Full body shot. It's the exact same full body shot, but different outfit. Full body shot, big background. Zoom into the full body shot. Keep the full body shot, though. Like, these are huge. And then, hold on. More full body shot. But hold on. That's not it. That's not everything. Check this out. Then just randomly, they just do this, where they do like narration like this. Really long panels. This is 500,000 pixels long on average. That means some chapters are over 500K. Some chapters are over 500,000 pixels long. And it's just this. And I'm not trying to judge them, but this is definitely not my thing. Every panel is a super long scroll. Everything is like narration, story. I don't even know what's going on, even if I was reading it. Anyway, yeah, this is gonna be public at some point. This is all my data from last year that I picked up. I've been making some graphs with them to kind of do some analysis and learn a little bit. Like this graph is supposed to basically understand if longer episodes lead to more like engagement, right? So if you're being like, what do I mean by that? The y-axis is likes, the x-axis is length, and clearly having slightly, the longer your episodes are, the more likely you are to be in the top end of likes, but there's like a limit, right? This is also using total likes. So this is also about like how many chapters you have out as well. I'm actually going to change this to average likes per episode, but I'll get to that later. Anyway, like Boyfriend of the Dead, like comedy comics often are skewing a lot higher. One of the things you're going to see here as well is like Lore Olympus is only making 78,000 pixel long episodes on average, but it's peaking at like, you know, 72 million total likes. Your number of likes is correlated with your length only somewhat. You know, for the most part, you're going to end up in this mess, this noise. If you want to be at the top end, you do want to be making a slightly longer comic, but not much longer. The length that most Webtoon Originals creators already make will likely mean that you have a decent chance of accessing a lot of likes. That's it. This is not done though. This is just like a sample data. I have more analysis to actually do to make sure I'm doing the right graphs. But I thought you want to see that. Oh, also this average number of episodes versus total comments, as in like the episode length versus total comments. So do longer episode, long comics with longer episodes have more comments on average. I need to again fix some things about this data, but yeah. And also this one, which I really love. Subscribers versus total comments. Does having more subscribers lead to more comments? The answer is yes. Obviously. Like that's just a true fact. It's a big, lovely trend upwards. What's that one all the way at the top? There's one. Oh, you mean this one here? That's Unordinary. Unordinary has like one of the highest number of comments. The only thing that matches it is True Beauty and Tower of God. Because Unordinary has 2 million comments. And I don't know why it's not showing Tower of God, but Tower of God also has 2 million comments. Over 2 million comments. Yeah. So I need, again, there's stuff obviously to fix. This isn't perfect. Like this one is missing some data. I don't know why it doesn't have the Tower of God data. I'm sure if I look around, I'll figure out where the Tower of God data went and fix this. But yeah, that's it. There's more stuff. There's more data analysis I'm doing. This is me doing it on my computer. It's my server. But I'll make it a publicly available website at some point where you get to just see the graphs and make whatever conclusions you want. I mean, by the way, obviously more subscribers leads to more comments. I knew that. I knew that would be a like upward trend. But I am surprised that it is as obvious and clear of a trend. Although you do see things like horror on average. Like if I show you this, horror on average doesn't even get much likes in the end. Like the top liked horror comic is horror comic with the most comments is like 130,000 comments. You know, it's the horror comic with the most subscribers seems to apparently have fewer, like not have many comments, at least as many as Tales of the Unusual. These are things to think about. I don't think it's a big deal, but these are things to think about. Obviously, there's also issues with, you know, the way I collected the data. There could be issues with how much data I collected, whether I missed some comments. But we're pretty sure on the comment side that we got most of it. There's obviously more to do, though. And like a comedy, similar thing, you know, the high end is really high. Action, you can see everything's trending upward. Nothing trends downwards. Nothing even trends unusually. I thought something would, which is why I made this graph. I thought something would trend really unusually. I will say that's again. Where is it? Superhero is really unusual in the fact that like most superhero comics do not do very well in terms of total comments. They don't actually have much engagement. It's just that there's one outlier that makes the graph look better than it is. Well, the meta questions like that are hard to answer, so we need to do some analysis. And I have that question. I have that question written down, and it's something I'm trying to answer with the graphs. I'm just doing some experimentation right now, so it's not going to be all set in stone and stuff. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you. Yeah. Those questions are written down, and the data will be done. Hopefully make some conclusions that I can tell people if possible. And if I can't, I can't, right? That's just life. Anyway, that's it. That's all the stuff I wanted to show you this week. Next week, we're going to go back to doing some drawing, so look forward to that. Drawing stream next week. Thank you guys so much for coming to watch. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I need the likes, or else I'll die. Don't imprint on me like I'm Renesmee. And thank you so much for being here and watching. Yeah. I hope you guys bring your art next week. Now you can go for your water break. Everyone can go for their water break now. I love you. Goodbye. Oh, wow, I really am leaving at the peak of streams. Remember to like, and subscribe. Share the video. Make me popular, please. Make this the only job I have to do one day. Big dreams. Bye-bye. Good night. Oh, patreon.com/webcomicshub. Patreon.com/webcomicshub. Patreon. Anyway, yeah. Okay.